Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject som känner konstnärer konstnärerna. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey there. Hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, at least. Well, good afternoon here. Good morning. Who knows where you are? It could already be tomorrow. You could be watching in Australia. I was thinking, Beltway Ben, I might start. I kind of like watching Australian rules football. I've always kind of liked watching it. I might start educating myself on Australian rules football. But look, we're mostly here to make you guys money. In traditional American sports, that's what we put most of our time and effort into. And that's what we're doing here again today. We will have our very best bets of the day for you. All the work we do whittled down to first, second, third down, our three favorite bets of the day. Fourth and long, we often look at a long shot bet or a bet that won't cash for a long time, like a future. We've got some NFL thoughts there. And obviously the NFL preseason kicks off tonight. In overtime, we will discuss betting on the preseason, some of the practices and policies Ben and I follow. And then we do have some thoughts on tonight's game. Although, again, we will couch it as it needs to be couched. And as always, unlike a lot of people out there, we show our work, not just for what we tell you, how we're making the bets we're making here and how we're breaking these games down, but how we did last night and how we've done since May 21st, which is when we launched this show. And another good night for us. It frankly could have been great. I had a push with the White Sox for plus money in the first 5 on a money line. If the skipper doesn't leave the opener in too long, and hey, if Hauser starts the game like he was originally scheduled to, I think we cashed. The White Sox ended up winning over 9 innings easily. Club America conceded a horrible goal early in that match when playing it out of the back goes wrong. Despite that, they still drew. And look, we've been doing very well in the soccer markets. If you watched this earlier in the week, I had a Champions League qualifier, FC Pilsen, money line plus both teams to score. They won 3-1, and that was about a plus 250. So we're doing this every day. We're covering our bases across all the sports that we put the most effort into. Beltway Ben cashed that Nerfy for you. We almost had another Nerfy parlay last night. Beltway Ben, any thoughts on last night before we get to today?
Yeah, it was a slight struggle for me. Barrios, 25 in the first inning, then he starts cruising. And Schneider pulled him earlier than I thought he would.
Yeah,
but I guess that game was pretty important for them. James Wood, I watched almost every at-bat here, and it didn't look good. Like, there's something going on there. I think it's late in the season. He's got to figure it out. But he did have a base hit. The Nats offense is just so pathetic, and it's only getting worse. So that was a tough loss. And then the Nerfy did cash to get us somewhat even on the night. So that was good. And I also, of course, was with Jason on the Rangers money line, played that as a one-unit play as well to cash that to keep me somewhat close to even. But again, not a great night. And like Jason said yesterday, I mean, the past week, we've both been up and down. Just we'll get more and more consistent. I keep saying, as soon as football and college football, NFL get here, like that is when pretty excited that it'll start ramping up much more.
Absolutely. And again, you can get all of the plays that we're making on our apps in real time in our super Discord. You can check my Twitter bio and Ben's Twitter bio. There is a link tree that lays everything out for you. I'm on a bunch of League Cup games already. Some of those bets I'll probably give out on this show later in the week, but there's some great value out there that I see already on the Friday and Saturday matches in the Leagues Cup. Okay. Our bets of the day, first down. What you got, Ben?
Yeah, first down, a play that I know you'll get to a little bit later. But I like them on the money line as well. And it was a minus 154 last night. We're already up to minus 180 now. I would still suggest playing that because given the pitching matchup, I don't see how the Reds don't win this game, to be quite honest with you. Carlos Carrasco is on the mound for his first time with the Braves, started the year with the Yankees, got waived there, and then goes in the minors and is whatever, but like nothing's changed with his stuff. This Reds lineup, they haven't been great at home, right? 738 OPS against right-handed pitching since June 1st, which is right in the middle of the pack, but they don't need to have a stellar lineup to get to Carlos Carrasco. In 5 of his 8 starts, he's given up 3 or more earned runs. And in the other one, he gave up 2 earned runs in 3 innings. So even if he doesn't give up the 3 earned runs, which is why I didn't go with him over 2.5, they could send him out for 2 or 3 innings. He gives up 2 and they pull him. And then we just need one more run in the next 2 innings from the bullpen, which is very capable against a bad Braves bullpen. A lot of games you'll see it fluctuates 1.5 to 2.5 in the first 5. But when you have this bad of a starter, and Carrasco was good at one point in his career, but at this point, it's not good. It's hard to watch, and he's going to get hit pretty hard. He gets hit by both righties and lefties, which stands out. So I do like the Reds' first 5 team total over 2.5 runs.
Yeah, again, only 3 games in MLB today. I'm on this game as well. Now, and we're not, I mean, and look, that's not to say we feel like we have to be on all 3 because late pitching matchup in that Seattle game, I got nothing to do with that one. But I do have a play in the Reds game that we'll get to in third down. First down for me, I'm staying in Leagues Cup. Again, look, I was on Club Leon to win. They drew. I was on Club America last night to win. They drew. So maybe the third time is the charm for me because I do think some of these Mexican sides are going to break through, even though these matches are being played on American soil. I like this match in a couple different ways, but my favorite bet in this match is just both teams to score in Cruz Azul against Seattle. Like Seattle has had their issues in the back. They've conceded in 5 straight games. Cruz Azul has watched some of their fellow Mexican sides start these games sloppily and pay for it and then dominate the second half like Pumas last night and still just come away with a draw because, frankly, they're early in their seasons. Maybe they're not as focused. They're still working through some kinks. But Cruz Azul is one of the more, one of the more dominant club sides in North America. They've done very well in this tournament before. They played Seattle last year in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, won 4-1 on aggregate, 1 leg in Seattle, 1 leg in Mexico. Seattle's had injuries to the goalkeeper position. That's something to keep an eye on. They've allowed Seattle 11 goals in their last 5 games domestically. They've also scored 12 goals in those 5 games. They do play an attacking style. They are going to be at home. They are going to fight, I think, and push a little bit in the first 30 minutes to try to get that early goal. I also have a hard time thinking they're not going to concede against Cruz Azul. And this is a Cruz Azul side that it's very early in the Mexican season, only a few matches in. But like they've had difficulty keeping the ball out of their own net as well in Liga MX. So look, I do have a parlay here as well. If you parlay this with Cruz Azul on the money line, you're going to get close to 3-1 for your money. Now, I again, the caveat is not many Mexican sides have won thus far in the first leg of this tournament. Again, that's being played in MLS stadiums. But Cruz Azul is familiar with playing in Seattle. So I am on that parlay as well. Second down, Ben.
Yeah, second down here, we're going to go to the WNBA. And it's a same game parlay. Washington Mystics on the money line, and then Sonia Cintron, 10+ points at -126. You can get it at. And the Valks are one of the better defensive teams in the WNBA, but a lot of it comes on the interior, and they're susceptible to the 3 in a big way. And we know Cintron's a great shooter. She's coming off of her best game in the WNBA probably. But they're allowing the 3rd most 3-pointers in the WNBA. Mystics are playing really, really well right now, and they've been good at home, whereas the Valkyries, they're banged up, have not been good on the road compared to Chase Center, where we know how invested that crowd is in the team as the Warriors left and went down the road a little bit. So I do think Mystics handle business here. And the Valkyries, again, that's a team that I was on the future to make the playoffs, but after Thornton went down and Billings is out again, like the injuries they're dealing with, it's pretty concerning for them. The Mystics all of a sudden look like they're legit and want to push. And since Shakira Alston came back from injury, when you have her and Kiki down low, Cintron, Sykes, like they have a very, very good team. And they're about plus money right now to make the playoffs. I'm not giving out that future right now because it would basically be a break even. I mean, we'll see how the next few weeks go if I want to get in on it. But I do like them to win tonight against the Valkyries, and then Cintron to score 10+ points at -126.
Excellent. Second down for me. We're going to the Bronx. I'm on the Tampa Bay Rays. Lost a tough one last night for sure. And they are trading some pieces. So that is a variable here. But even with that lucky win last night, the Yankees are 13-19 against the AL East. The Yankees have issues in the field right now. Dominguez made a play with his eyes closed last night, but he may butcher one today. Volpe's a problem, and not in a good way, at short. Judge is obviously still on the IL. Pepio has been good for Tampa outside of that bandbox. He's got a 3.35 ERA on the road. He had a quality start against the Yankees earlier this year. But more than anything else, I'm fading Marcus Stroman, who looked quasi-capable. Like, he looked just slightly below average in his first couple starts after missing a lot of time. And now he's back to being a human piñata. He was terrible at the Bronx last year. It was not a fit. He's worse this year. 7.11 ERA at home, 4 home runs allowed in just 19 innings pitched. He's also managed to walk 12 guys in 19 innings pitched at Yankee Stadium this season. The league's batting just under 300 against him in the Bronx, and he's got a whip of basically 2. Tampa's scrappy. I just think this is a good spot for Tampa against a Yankees team that's already tight. Everything's a playoff game for them, and Tampa's loosey-goosey while they're sellers. Tampa runs the bases better. Tampa's more fundamentally sound, and Pepio is the better starter. So for plus money, I'm on Tampa. Third down, Ben.
Yeah, third down, we're going to go back to the MLB here. I'm going to go with Josh Naylor over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 110. Kumar Rocker's got a 9.91 ERA on the road. Lefties against Rocker on the road, 373, 437, 644 slash line. Naylor's got 2 straight hitless games, so he's due for a good showing at the plate. They're coming off a loss. Front office just bought in a massive way, getting Eugenio Suarez back after a few years. And he's going to be teamed up with Suarez again. It's kind of funny. The Diamondbacks and Mariners did business for 2 big hitters twice in 2.5 weeks. So I do think Naylor has a strong day at the plate. Rocker, it's crazy because, like, if you look at his last 7, the ERA is down. You're like, oh, he's kind of figured it out. Then you look at the last 7 on the road, and it's still, like, bumpy. You cannot figure it out on the road. And I get it. The Mariners Park is a very, very pitcher-friendly park, but Josh Naylor does damage and can do damage. And I think that lineup, after losing a series to the Athletics, should come to play. So I do like Josh Naylor over the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
We are going back to, what is it, Great America Ballpark? I don't know. Ballpark formerly known as Riverfront. We're going to Cincy. We're on to Cincinnati, Beltway, Ben, and we're back in the Cincinnati Redlegs in the first 5 here. I thought about playing this game a bunch of different ways. I did jump on the full game money line yesterday. It opened around minus 155. Beltway, Ben told you that's long gone. I like the first 5 as well, though. Like, Atlanta is 19-36 on the run line. I'm sorry, 22-33 on the run line. No, let me start over. Atlanta's 19-36 on the road on the money line. They're a terrible road team. They're also bad on the run line on the road. Cincinnati has won 5 of Abbott's last 7 starts at home. Cincinnati is 31-25 against the spread, first 5 at home, which is top 7 in baseball. Abbott has a 1.93 ERA at home. Now, look, the Braves destroy left-handed pitching on the road, and that gives me some pause. Like, since June 1st, Atlanta's got a 938 OPS versus lefties on the road. If you dig down, though, most of the key players only have about 15 to 18 plate appearances against lefties in that span. So it's not a ton. One of the guys who was crushing it is Acuna, who's out. Another one is Ozuna, who I don't know what's going on with him. Is he getting traded? Is he not getting traded? And in a very small sample size, he has not done much. He really hasn't done anything against Abbott. Carrasco's terrible, as Beltway Ben pointed out. Atlanta's really in a spiral right now. And Cincinnati's been playing competitive ball. Maybe there's a letdown after that Dodgers series, but I really don't think so. Again, a limited slate of major league games today. I like this one quite a bit. 4th and long, we're looking at some long-term bets that won't pay off for a while, but hopefully we believe will pay off quite well for you. Where are you taking us here, Ben?
Yeah, real quick, though, I am riding with you there. That can be a 1-unit play. Talked about the Reds before. But for 4th and long here, like, I looked at this and I just could not believe what I was seeing. And I get it. Kelsey went under this last year, but I'm going to go with Kelsey over 4.5 touchdowns at minus 140. Like, this is bizarre to me, to be quite honest with you. And I get, as I said, he's under last year, but he was over in 7 straight years before that. And he lost his fastball. I don't care, though. Like,
right.
We know what him and Mahomes do together. They have a ton of options. This wide receiving core looks great, and nobody in that, wide receiver core has the connection that Kelsey and Mahomes have. Kelsey's a prideful guy, and him and Mahomes, hear the people writing them off, hear people saying Kelsey's washed and this might be his last season, whatever. Like, Kelsey, to me, isn't a player that's going to just kind of fall off and finish years with maybe 300 receiving yards and a touchdown, just kind of slowly go out. No, Kelsey's going to want to go out with a bang and be very, very strong. This team won't be as dominant as they were last year, so I don't expect a lot of run plays in the fourth quarter compared to previous seasons. Kelsey has to be featured in the red zone because even at age 35, he still finds himself open and still knows how to get the job done. So 4.5 to me, it's just like bizarre to see. And I can't not take this, and it has to be a 1 unit play for me just because, again, even with him going under last year, he's over in 7 straight before that, and it's the Kelsey and Mahomes duo. There's not a better one in the NFL even at this point.
I'm with you. Even if he's on a pitch count, he's going to feature in the red zone. And how many years does Mahomes throw behind the back passes like this, shovel passes like that, jump passes like this? I mean, who's the guy he's most simpatico with on all that stuff? It's Kelsey. Maybe the face of the offense changes a little bit, but remember, Rice is suspended early in the year, and Kelsey's going to have a 2-touchdown game or a 3-touchdown game at some point. Hell, most playoff years. If you asked me 2 years ago for decent plus money, Kelsey at the start of the playoffs over 4.5 receiving touchdowns, I would have taken the over. Now I get it. He's probably not the same guy. But over the course of a long season, and I usually like plus money on props you have to wait that long on, but 4.5, you got me. Maybe I'm a sucker, but you got me. And more to the point, you got my boy Meatball here on a 1 unit play. I am looking at Lamar Jackson here, Beltway Ben. We talked about him 3 or 4 weeks ago when we broke down the AFC North and said, man, they're pricing Lamar at like 3,800 passing yards. That seems really low. Like if you looked at Lamar's standard industry-wide projections on rushing and passing yards, it came out to like 4,299.5 yards combined. And I'm like, I think he could throw for that. And then we start getting some of the alt markets and we see that Lamar Jackson to throw for 4,000 yards plus 250. If he doesn't get hurt, he's doing this. Like he doesn't run as much as he used to. What if Derrick Henry goes down? I mean, he's been this unicorn forever, but nothing lasts forever. They unlocked a deep, prolific passing game last year, not just on scramble drills, but inside the pocket. That's not going away. It's a historically significant offense. It's a quarterback who forces you to still defend him in the run game, but now he's throwing instead of running when he creates those opportunities. 4,000 yards is not a prolific number. This isn't the days when I was growing up and like Dan Marino and Dan Fouts threw for 4,000 yards and everybody else threw for 3,200. The game has changed exponentially since then. Like Todd Monken is helped Lamar Jackson take his game to yet another level. And frankly, I think Lamar Jackson can throw for 4,500 yards this season. So for plus 250, that's a no-brainer for me. All right, overtime. Hall of Fame fake football tonight, Beltway, Ben. I just feel like we should put this out there because there's a lot of people who are in the gambling space who want to sell you on betting on everything because they just want to push their content. Like they're willing to throw shit at the wall. They really don't care. They want you to get amped up like, oh, tonight's the night. You really got to make your action. And that's ridiculous. You need to be smart about your money. You need to budget your money accordingly. And you need to keep in mind that NFL games, real games where you know who the quarterback is and how long he's going to play and who he's throwing the ball to, at least to start, are around the corner. Now, I'm also not going to ignore all these preseason games because there are people who are going to make bets one way or the other. But I think it's important that we frame it, and we're completely transparent here, what we're actually betting, what we're not, and sort of how much. That's why we've got our dogs, 1 unit play. We've got Meatball if we're just sprinkling GG, the Huskies around here somewhere. There we go. That's a whale play. You don't see a lot of GG on the show because we're smart. We're in this for the long haul like you. And we want to bet collectively smart and sharp as a team. So have I put a few bucks on the game tonight? I have, because there hasn't been a football game in forever, Ben. But first of all, let's start there. Like I've got a stupid $25 bet on this game tonight. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but that's not even it's just for bleeps and giggles. What are your thoughts on gambling on NFL exhibition games?
Yeah, it's rare that I will push a play. But again, like you just said, we've waited how long for football? It's a Thursday night. When I get home, being able to have some rooting interest watching this game.
Only 3 MLB games, right? So it really sets up for you.
And the MLB trade deadline's finished at 6. It makes you want to watch football. But for the most part, I don't really bet it and don't suggest people do. But there are spots like, and it sounds crazy, head coaches, like attacking head coaches.
That's
John
right.
Harbaugh was so damn prideful in winning these preseason games, and you could make money every single week on him. So, like, there will be times where I'm like, all right, I know how this coach is going to play this, and I want to. And that's kind of why tonight you'll see with my play in a little bit. I am going a certain way because we know the Harbaugh brothers are very, very competitive. But for the most part, again, I don't bet it, but there are some spots where I might suggest just a one-unit play. This head coach, you know how he's going to play it versus a head coach that just wants to get guys opportunity, stay healthy, and get out of there versus a coach who wants to teach his young guys how to win. Like, there are those different types of spots you can find. But for the most part, I don't suggest betting, and I don't bet it. But again, there are some spots where you can take advantage. And again, a night like tonight, I'm not telling you to put $100 in anything, $5-10, and just have fun watching the game.
Yeah, like I said, it's a $25 play for me. This is not a full unit play for me. And yeah, like, look, now if you're someone who really is interested in a particular game, like, we're not doing the work. So like in the Super Discord, we get questions sometimes. Hey, I see you're not on this, but I'm thinking this. I might want to go this way. Me, Ben, Eric Casillas are jumping in. We want to steer you. Like, we are, as transparent as we can be and as helpful as we can be. Again, always telling you within the confines of, this is what I have played, this is what I haven't played, and why. And if you have questions about, so we have that dialogue. And we're not oblivious to it. So, and even hit us up on Twitter. Go to thatwannabet.com. Ask us about a preseason game. We will do our best to tell you what we think of it. In this game tonight, and again, in large part because it's the first game and because there's nothing else going on, I like the San Diego. I like the LA Chargers. Small play. Like, again, this is not anything real. Dog food money on the Chargers. And it's because of what you mentioned. Like, you could try to drive yourself crazy handicapping it, but like, Harbaugh's 10-6 against the spread. His brother, while this Harbaugh was at Michigan, his brother in Baltimore, like Ben said, was going out of his way to try to win 25 straight preseason games. These dudes are wired the same. They're both a little nuts. And I'm not telling you that Dan Campbell isn't nuts, but Dan Campbell's 5-7 straight up in preseason games, 3-6-1 against the spread in his last 10. And like, what does this mean for the Lions versus what it could possibly mean for the Chargers? And there is this Trey Lance factor of, I've never been a Trey Lance guy, but boy, if he's ever, if like Harbaugh and Greg Roman, who are like some of the godfathers of the modern running stuff, right? Who went to like a championship game with Kaepernick, right? Like, if they can't, and if you're playing Trey Lance, you might as well play to his strengths. Like, I don't know. They can't get a little something going. So that's where I am. It's fake football, and that's not a real significant play for me. But because of all the circumstances, that's where I am. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I just went with again, this is also not an official play. It's just it's a regular play. This doesn't count to the record. But I went with the Chargers team total over 50.5 points. Like, in 8 of their last 9 games, the Lions have allowed 16 plus points during the preseason. And now you have a different defensive staff and have to figure things out like that. And you have a Chargers team who's bringing back Greg Roman. You touched on, the power mind that he is in the run game, and he's figured things out and he knows what he's doing versus a staff that, quite honest, like, this is their first live go. And we know how that's going to impact them during the regular season, but people don't even mention during the preseason where some coaches are still getting their feet wet, let alone a rookie and undrafted guy trying to prove to the team what he can do. So I do think this Chargers team will come out and score 16 plus points. Again, not an official play, but given the situations, and I mentioned 8 of 9, the Lions have allowed over this number. So I'm going over 15.5 for the Chargers.
So there we are. You will see every now and again a preseason play for us if it's something that really stands out. But I'm not, we're trying to make our very best plays of the day. I'm not going to litter it with fake football. Again, unless it's something that really jumps out. Tonight's an exception. It's the first one of the year, and we wanted to just let you guys know where we're coming from. Got questions, whatever, hit us up at WannaBet. Well, you're watching it probably on the Twitter. Maybe you're watching it on YouTube. But you can hit us up with questions on the Twitter. If you join the Discord, again, go to the link tree in my bio or Ben's, find out more about that. We're there. I get notifications as soon as anybody jumps in with a question or anything else. We will do everything we can to guide you there, and you will get all our plays in real time. We will be back on WannaBet tomorrow, a bigger slate of MLB games. As I told you, I'm already on some Leagues Cup matchups through the weekend. There's a CFL play that I'm looking at. Ben and I will be watching the PLL this weekend. We hope you are as well. We're doing well, making money in the PLL. All our Premier Lacrosse League bets are in yesterday's show. You can find that at youtube.com/@wannabet with us. We hope you guys enjoy the trade deadline. We hope the Orioles sell everything they possibly can and get things in return. I doubt they will because their GM's a fraud. That's a story for another day. We want to bet. You want to bet. We hope you want to bet with us again tomorrow.